Research Shows Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Research Shows Podcast. I am your host, Dawn M. Williams, and today we have a special reoccurring guest, Miss B.F. Glenn, writer, editor, and author. So, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing amazing. I just want to hold it for a silent applause. Silent applause. Well, first off, I'm doing absolutely amazing. It is good to sit with you again. You and I go way back, and when I heard that you transitioned from, a full-time hair professional to now fully diving into what did you call it? It's
Well, basically, social media influencing and virtual. I don't know,
making an
like
impact.
trying to get a virtual income, passive income.
But it's like making an impact, like those organizers that make it. Now, and forgive me, the word is slipping me right now.
Oh,
when
activist.
Oh, forgive me. Yes, when I heard that you were diving into activism, I knew that that's not only something that you enjoy doing, but I know that it's in your bones. As long as I've known you, you have been an activist, and so I want to congratulate you on your podcast. And I just hope that it flourishes and goes far and reaches many people, and helps to actually make the change that we need to see in the world. So, congratulations to you.
Thank you, because I had to think about it. I said, like, I think people don't understand how politics ties in directly with business, and I said I think I want to be that avenue that I don't really see, because we kind of shy away from politics in conversation, but it actually affects business in every aspect. I said, let me go in that direction. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All right. So First of all, we done been through a journey with Miss BF Glenn. We done did what was it? The Milton Seville.
Yes,
we
build the
doing like
resume,
editing.
the book publishing. Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, and
I love it. It's entrepreneurship.
It's entrepreneurship, and it's also a bit of service in various areas. I really take heart to writing and editing, and that's why I did ask for it to be writer, editor, and then author, because the writing and editing piece is something that is innate within me. That is something that I would do for free, to help myself or anyone else. And the author piece is just a byproduct of that. So
yes,
I really appreciate you having me on at this time, so that we could talk about the other venture that I had, which is real estate and property investing. Yes. And as a byproduct of what I've experienced, that's where I wrote the book, To the C Word, Cunt, Who Will Not Leave My House.
This book, y'all. Y'all.
That's where that piece comes in. Obviously, it's a play on words.
Look, the title of the book. I said, "Oh."
And
yes.
People that know me know I don't really speak like that. But I'd rather say that than the B word, because I just don't. I don't talk like that. And I was like, I don't get offended. Somebody calls me either or, but the C word seems to hit a certain community a little harder than it hits me. So I'm just like, whatever. We're going to put that in there. But it is a play on words. And you read the book. Thank you for that. Thank you for purchasing, supporting. And you read it. And I'm ready to dive into whichever way you need this to go, whether it's you want to talk about the book a little bit, maybe what you found, or maybe, if you wanted to dive into like how it all started.
Well, first, okay, I want to dive into the therapeutic aspect of it, because I know that with writing, it can be therapeutic, and this was a traumatic experience. This whole everything, it'll set you in a different space mentally. So first, I want to talk about the therapeutic aspect, and then I want you to start talking about what you went through with this nightmare tenant, because people don't know what landlords go through behind closed doors. You just think you get a property, you rent it out, it's smooth. So yeah, and I also want you to touch on the difference between using like a realtor or a property manager as opposed to you yourself, and how that tenant used that against you.
Absolutely. So I will definitely touch on all of that. It is my pleasure, because hopefully this will help someone else. So in terms of the writing and the therapeutic aspect, again, writing and it just is innate for me. So it sort of became an easy outlet for me. And yes, absolutely, it was therapeutic. I was able to get some stuff down. But in that writing piece, knowing that I was going to publish a book to help others, that's when the separate hat came on as editor. Writing and editing are two different things. If I wanted to really write my emotions, that book would have been a lot harsher towards her. It would have called her out by name. It would have really focused on how traumatic the experience was for me. But as a professional editor, I knew that if I published this book, it cannot just be a woe is me story. There had to be lessons that had to be taught to the reader or learned, because when you read material, whether you believe it or not, that energy that the author put into that material transfers to you. It goes into your psyche. You're reading it with your eyes and you're taking it in. You're using your imagination and the context clues to fill in the pieces, and you take on that energy. And I'm really, really big on not allowing others, or if I can help it, not imposing that negative energy so much onto the reader. So I hope first that it is more helpful than it is, and I hope that it states matter of factly what happened versus the reader taking on all of that emotion that I dealt with behind it, because there was a traumatic event that happened. There was a lot of physical and psychological damage that did occur, to the point where I felt like I was making myself sick. I would not sleep. It was terrible. And so as I wrote the book, it was therapeutic, but as I went back to edit it and clean it up, it felt even better, surprisingly, because I don't necessarily need to call her names or degrade her or use that negative energy on paper. As I started to clean it up, my vibration, my energy started to clean up as well. And I was able to get through it a little bit easier. So that energy was also transferring back to me as I was cleaning up the original draft. Now, you said how it started. Okay. So
yes, girl.
So I purchased this property when my son's father and I divorced. And I purchased it in 2018. And it's a 2-story condo in a very nice area. Let's just preface it by saying it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story condo. It was fully renovated when I purchased it. It was my new home away from my old home, my new beginning. I took great pride in it. The area has tennis courts, basketball courts, playground. It's 1 mile from the boardwalk that's down here off of the Chesapeake Bay. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's in a beautiful, safe community. And so I purchased this home when I got divorced, and it was my new beginning. I was very, very proud. But what I realized was, yes. And so what I realized is this home looks like a townhouse on the outside. And so your viewers may know what I'm talking about, because there are a lot of homes being built like it. So on the outside, it looked like a townhome. But really, the way that they're building these 2-story condos now is it's more like Tetris. So you have that bottom level here, that's 2 stories. And then you have a top level that's 2 stories. But on the outside, it looks like one big old townhome. So I purchased the bottom unit. When I moved in, there was a couple that was living above me, and I could hear her stay at home, big thunderfoot footsteps all the time. And at the time, I was home a lot because, I wasn't doing too much. And I can't remember if I was working from home or not, but I was home quite a bit. And I could hear her. She was always thumping around, and then they had a dog, a cat, and it's just ridiculous. Well, that's when I learned that I'm noise sensitive. Because the amount of times that I envisioned me shooting a cannon through their bottom floor so she could stop was unnerving me, to the point that I was like, I make a lot of money. I could probably, because I found out they're renters, because I'm nosy. And so I looked up and they don't own it. And so I said, I wonder if I contact the owners, can I purchase that property above me? now I can do that. Well, that was the passive aggressive way to go, and it really wasn't going to do me any good. So what I decided to do instead was to purchase my son and I, who, I don't want to make it sound like his dad's not in his life. We share time equally, but when he was with me, so I said what I would do is I'll purchase a primary home for my son and I, so that way I don't have to deal with anybody else's noise, but maybe the house across the street or something like that. And what I'll do is I will rent this house out, because again, newly renovated, very nice community. Why not get an asset under my belt and start to leave a legacy for my son? Well, I rented it out on Zillow. I did all of my research. I'm extremely organized. I figure I got a great personality with good intention. Let me just bypass the property management piece, because I was told by other people in the that had assets that property managers take about 10% of your rent. And I said, well, why don't I just charge a little less and keep that money in my pocket and manage the property myself, because it's newly renovated. What could possibly go wrong? I rented it out to a woman who was a nurse practitioner, and she paid on time every single month. I never had a problem with her. She was absolutely amazing. She did not want to leave. I did not want her to leave. I was the landlord that gave a gift when she came into the property. It was a wine bottle. It was a thank you note, welcome note, like everything she needed. Her 6-month anniversary, gave her a card, Christmas gifts, all of that. Now, it wasn't too much, but it was too much. And you know what I mean, Dawn, when I say it was too much, because you're a business-minded woman. You're like, oh, hell no. They don't need all that. No, you just paying them.
No, but I think that's cool, you doing that, because it matched that energy. You see what I'm saying? Like because I was just talking to my son about this when we were talking about building his resume. He told me I was doing too much, adding this stuff to it. I said, it's not doing too much, because like I said, that's the same as when I was providing, when you came into the salon, you had snacks, you had water, because it's above what my competitors are doing. You're not expected to walk into a salon and expect, little amenities and this that. So I think that it's cool. You match that energy, but I think that your expectation is that was the standard tenant, and that's just not true.
And that's not true. Absolutely, because in my mind, I was, I was thinking in the mindset of from my heart. One, like you said, if I go above and beyond anything that any of her other landlords could have, would have, or should have done, she's going to take extra good care of my property.
She did, right?
And she did. And unfortunately, for me, and fortunately for her, she ended up moving to Florida.
Okay.
And when she moved, I said, well, that went well. Let me list it again. And I did.
Girl.
The property, again, beautiful property, great area. And I had so many showings. That property, when I list it, can go within a week easy. I'm constantly like getting people in, and they show the interest. But for whatever reason, this time when I listed it around between Christmas and New Year's Eve. And so I probably showed it to about 5 people before this woman came in. And she told me that she called me. So she kind of went above and beyond. I'm not going to lie. Because everybody else was contacting me through the app. She actually picked up the phone and called me and said, I really like your property. I would really like to purchase it. My lease is up and my 3 kids and I need somewhere to stay.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, I can show you the property. That's fine. When I met her, I felt like there was a good vibe. 1, we're bonding because we're female. 2, we're bonding because we're mothers. You need a place to stay. I need a renter. It's between the holidays and you're ready to go? Great. So she and I sat there and we talked. Now, I did notice some things when I spoke to her, but I tried not to let my biases get in the way. And I'm going to tell you what they were. She had a very expensive wig. She had these long ass eyelashes and she had these very long nails. Now, it's nothing wrong with that. Nothing
but
wrong
it's
at
something
all.
that stood out to you.
It's something that stood out because my rent is here and I know what those things cost. And you keeping them up real good, child. So, and you got 3 kids. So I wasn't looking at her in a judgmental, this is how she likes to appear, but I was looking at her like, you have 3 kids. I got 1. He's expensive. And you got
girl.
This one, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of doing it, and then I'm looking at her pay stub, and I'm just like, this ain't really matching up. But she's like, well, I get child support $1,000 a month. I'm gonna just put it out there. She works for the IRS because I think that's
shut your mouth. Hold on. Wait. Let me say this. Let me say this. This is the hypocrisy of this sister, which goes going into my activism moment right here, because the audacity of an agency that's a financial management agency and having employees working for them that don't know how to do. We're not even taught this in high school, which is, I'm just now really understanding financial management. Even me able to quit. And go into this. And I was explaining to my husband, they teach us that you can't survive off of, even if it's $50,000 a year. You see what I'm saying? And that's what they teach you. And here she is working for the IRS. And just basic money management skills is more so of a keep up with the Joneses junk, because you is like living so everybody else could think you got it like that when you don't.
When you don't. And the reason why I want to say that is because I worked extremely hard. I worked 2 jobs to get the second property. And you and I go back, you remember when I was working 6 days a week, 2 jobs just to stay afloat, because I'm like, I'm going to work my butt off. I'm not going to owe anybody. This is what it is. So here I am living within a certain standard, a certain morale, a certain code. And you have a government employee who, by the end of the story, you'll understand, is taking advantage of the system. I don't get that. I don't like that. So that's why I say it. When I first met her, I saw her pay stubs and I knew it was a government job, guaranteed check off the break.
Right.
Number 2, she was getting child support from her father's, from one of her children's fathers. And I looked her up. I did. So I did not do a background check in terms of credit, because I understand not everybody's credit is going to be up there. I get it. I didn't do a credit check the first time, but I will do a background check. So I did, and I saw that, yes, he does owe about $1,000 a month. So she was telling the truth on that, plus her government check. Plus she says she does side hustles, which again, I just told you my work ethic. Why would I not believe that she does a side hustle? Everybody's doing a side hustle now.
And wait, so her energy wasn't off? Like, you know how you could feel people energy and it's like, wow, it wasn't off at all?
No. And now, let's say this. You've done hair, so you've come across various personalities. You know that I am an introvert. Writing and editing, I don't really require to talk to a lot of people.
That's true.
I deal with people and I put my energy into people that are going places, but I don't necessarily have to deal with or interact with some random Joes off the break.
Girl, I could tell on the phone, boo. Look, as soon as the phone call, honey, look, the text message, look, I contact, and everybody think I'm crazy. Like my husband and both my children. It have been instances where I be like, There's something wrong with that answer right there. Something wrong. I'm telling you. And they be like, you're reading too much. Nope. Just remember this day. I said the heifer was crazy. I said it.
Just remember. And so for me, because I put out good vibes and I have a certain amount of energy, I have a certain energy vibration. I believe, just theoretically, that I don't necessarily attract the very, very, very low energy.
Right.
Like I already know we're not going to resonate off the break.
Right.
But a conniving, manipulative SOB could probably slip in there. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's kind of what happened. So no, her energy was nice, very well spoken, very soft spoken, very just eager, very thankful, showing gratitude. I thank you. This is very nice. Oh, all of that. So I'm like, it's cool. I'm just going to be myself. I don't know how to be anything but myself. I'm going to be myself. First month, late. Second month, late. Third month, late. My boyfriend at the time was like, nah.
Like, not off the break.
Yeah, you need to do something about this right now. And I'm like, well, she's only like 3 or 4 days late, 5 or 6. But it started to become, and I had a girlfriend of mine. She said, I'm going to tell you right now, because I have 3 kids. She's a paycheck away from not paying you, period. Like, if anything happens, you're SOL. So I said, well, well, guess what? Knowing me, so the first year went by, she's in the property. The second year, people were telling me not to renew with her. But at this time, she's still only like a week or 2 late. Now, that goes to show you my mentality, because I'm sure there are people watching now. I'm sure even you, a week or 2. No, get that heifer up out of there. But you see that's where it's like, it's just a week or 2. I shouldn't even think like that, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to give somebody a break or whatever. Well, the second year, she done moved her brother and mother in. Didn't ask permission. Like, didn't ask permission.
No, ma'am.
I said, okay. So then she was like, oh, then the rent became months late. 1 month, 2 months. Oh, I got it. And it was always an excuse. One excuse was so bad. I got an abortion. My mother said, well, what are you doing getting pregnant and you can't even pay your rent? What? You ain't even got the us. Like, you got 3 kids. So
hold up.
So here I am, because everything's in writing. It's in text message. So I used to work for a law firm. I know that, okay, all right, like, it's in writing. It is what it is. There's no need for me to go back and forth with you. Like, it's stamped, I had to sell my car, everything, every single month. She's a victim. Now, see, here's the thing that I sort of have a habit of doing. I let people just victimize themselves, and I just, okay, and they think they're getting over on me, but they're not, because I'm paying attention, and I'm like, every month something happening to you, every single month. Now, some people will hit that head on. Okay, every single month something happening to you, get out, and that would have saved me a lot of headache. But in my case, it helped me to build character for me, and it helped it for her, but it also helped me in the end, because she had all these excuses. So second year went by. Well, the third year, I'm taking her to court. Now I'm taking her to court, because I'm like, this is too much. So this was all 2023. I took her to court. She paid January's rent in February. I took her to court in March for February, March, April. This chick done went and found a nonprofit organization to help people with renter's assistance. I didn't know any better. Again, remember, I'm listing this property. I've never been in a situation like this. I'm just like, I don't want this woman and her kids out on the street, per se. I know she's playing victim a lot, but I don't fully understand the circumstances, because I don't resonate with it. So the nonprofit said to me, well, if we pay her rent until June, she's requesting can her kids stay in the property until school's over. If we pay her rent until June, can she stay? Now, she was supposed to be out May 30th, but then she found the rental assistance. And I said, well, if y'all paying the rent, that's guaranteed. Absolutely, she can stay till June. Because at this point, I just got my money. They said, okay. Come to find out, I didn't get my money till June 10th. So I was waiting 3 months that I'm paying 2 mortgages. Now, I know some people like, boo-hoo, you have a rental property. People, please keep in mind, if renting a property is not for you, that's not for you. But I worked very hard and put a lot of good intention in this to try to build some wealth for my son and I. Okay. So if you're okay just renting and having one property, that's for you. But that's not for somebody that works hard to try to do good to people. I'm not a shitty landlord. I'm somebody that's giving gifts. That's like, hey, I'll give you an opportunity. I don't care about your credit. So I'm actually the one that you would want on your side at the end of the day, you know? So that's going to try to help build you, because even with this tenant, as she was late, again, you and I have talked about me doing resume. I've been doing resumes, government resumes, contractor resumes, public. I do resumes. So I even offered to do her resume. She did not take it. She did not take me up on the offer.
Wow.
Because I offered. I said I could get your resume in where you can get like a 12. You know, the way she was talking about she does her job. I was like, you can get a 12. You know, I can go ahead and give you that for a GS. She did not take me up on that. So I'm not somebody that's sitting here like, oh my God, I just got so much money in the bank. No, people don't understand. I cannot sit here and pay 2 mortgages and still have a life for my son and I, because I worked hard. I'm not a multi-million-dollar corporation. And I didn't get a property management company.
So wait a minute, I got a question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I had a question real quick. Was mama working and the brother working, or they just leeching off her?
Leech.
See? Neither and so she's putting her problem on you. You see how it goes? Yes. And it happened to me with the industry, where I would have people who was grandmothers or guardians of children, and then they didn't want to comb the hair out, but they didn't want to pay for the extra hour I had to take to comb it out, because they putting it on me. Because you took on a problem from somebody else. That's not my problem. That's why it sounds mean, but it's true. That's not my problem. And the fact that you got the audacity to force it on me, it's no, you need to handle. You see what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. And to my knowledge, they were leeching, but I did a property check. Her kids had more than my son. So damn the wig, the lashes, the nails. Her kids had a garage full stuff of, like, you know, the big toys that you could drive around the neighborhood. Her son had 2 TVs on his wall and a whole PlayStation or whatever game it was. My son ain't got that. Her son got hair down to his butt. His hair stayed done. My son ain't got that. Priority. You know what I'm saying? She had like a big old 70-something inch TV on the wall. I don't have that. Priorities. So for me, it's like, it looked nice. That's great. Matter of fact, one of my friends, when I was going through this, I had so many people having my back. They don't understand. And a lot of people, and now you know, Don. Now you know me. I am this. I'm just so, I'm not gonna let nobody stir my energy, but so bad. You know, but I have a lot of people in my corner that at the time was like, oh, I want to go past there so bad, but I just know you. I just want to go past it so bad, but I know you, and I'm not going to do it. I don't understand the logic behind this. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, I don't see the money from the nonprofit, which taught me, oh, I will never ever accept another person who acts like they can't pay rent and they need rental assistance from a nonprofit, because when that money came due, not only did they pay me 3 months late, so I was paying 2 mortgages for 3 months, but they ended up saying, oh, we can't pay June. She has to pay. But that was the stipulation that you got me in. You didn't even check to see if the funds was there with the county.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm struggling while she owes 11 grand. Where you think I'm just holding that 11 grand? No, I'm a single mother like you, and I'm just trying to make, like, literally, what is happening?
But see, and then also to mention, I think that the frustration a lot of times and anger a lot of times come from you trying to understand why somebody behaves this way, this and that. But it's more so you got to look at it like it's not personal, and this is how this person solves problems. Period. That's just how they solve problems, whether or not they work for a high government agency or budget correctly or not. It's millionaires who don't budget appropriately.
That's right.
You know,
that's
so
I had to learn that. I had to really learn that this was her issue and it wasn't personal to me. And I had to learn that I can't try to not only figure it out, I had to learn that I can't get but so emotionally involved, even though it took me there.
Yes.
Because the universe is always going to bend towards right. And as long as I did not react to her inaction or, her really doing it, as long as I did not react, I was okay. I had to realize that.
Yeah. Because she was banking on that. She was banking on you acting, excuse my language, real niggerish and coming up in there. You going to because them people who behave like that, all they are really, really proficient at is emotional blackmail and pissing somebody off so that they come and act ratchet. So this is
I'm a victim. Oh my God. I'm a victim. And and I learned during the walkthrough when she was supposed to be headed out. Remember, they said because she stayed till the end of June. I did a walkthrough, and on my way out the door, she said, "Oh, and I changed the locks, so I don't have a key to my property." I said, "Why did you change the locks?" Oh, because my baby daddy. It's a long story.
Girl.
So I'm like, in my mind, you on your way out. Because remember, she's supposed to be out the end of June. It's a couple days, maybe a week or two before she's supposed to be out. Cool. I got to get a locksmith anyway. Every time I turn it over, I change the lock.
Let me tell you how crazy that sounds too. Let me tell you how crazy that sounds. Because I have had numerous incidents of like the door was faulty or this and that. And I had trifling landlords at that salon space. But I'm telling you, every time I changed the locks, I was sending the landlord a text saying, when can I meet you to drop this key off? You see what I'm saying?
This girl will get everything. Even if she don't get it, she putting it on her kids. I'm sorry. Like, I just believe that she did too much. And this is how she lived. And the fact that the mom is with the shits.
Of course. Why not?
Goes to show you. Like, that's just what it is. That's what they do. So I said, okay, so she's supposed to be gone. But by then, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and get a property manager. Because I need obviously everybody just doesn't need to deserve or receive a good landlord, to really treat them with dignity and respect. I hate to say it that way, but it really is. And so I went and got a property manager, but he was a real estate agent. He wasn't a full service property management company. He was a real estate agent. And he went to go view the property. She tried to block that. And people were telling me not to get a realtor because they are selling homes primarily. That's their bread and butter. Property management can easily fall by the wayside with a realtor, a full-time realtor. Not even a non-full-time realtor. Like, think about it. So they were like, you need a full-service property management company. But I went with this guy. He was a realtor.
Okay.
Her mom ended up calling me the day before he was supposed to see the property, and she called me at 9:30 at night, and she said she left a voicemail, and she said, "I know you're supposed to be coming by tomorrow, but unfortunately, we're in the hospital. It's not looking good. Please call me back." I called her back and I said, "I'm sorry that this is happening, but we're coming by tomorrow. Can you meet me at the property with the key?" Lo and behold, so many of my friends were like, "She gonna be there." She was there. I say to her, "I'm sorry, what? You were in the hospital. Are you feeling okay?" "Yeah, I had my wisdom teeth pulled and there was blood everywhere. And they didn't know what was going on. He hit a nerve and it was just bleeding so bad." But your mother calls me at 9:30 at night for that. I'm sure your dentist appointment wasn't at 9 p.m. Why would
So
that
this is a
stop you from
collaborative. This is a collaborative scamming effort, like the whole family.
Absolutely. I really think there's that you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, because you can't be in your right mind and do some shit like this.
No, you can't.
You can't be happy in life to
Right.
pull stuff over on people like this.
Yep.
You have some stuff that you haven't dealt with to even feel comfortable consciously
Mm-hmm.
to think that you're invincible from the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So I go in there with the property manager. She has her son, who's 11 or 12, following us around the whole property.
Oh, girl.
And you know, it took, because you know, I used to teach.
Oh, yeah, I do remember you saying that. Yes.
So it took everything for me not to say something to the little boy. Not mean. I would never. But just
Right.
like, "Hey, sweetie, you okay?" You know what I'm saying? It took everything for me
Right.
not to say a peep to this little kid. Because
they playing.
Okay. So
They
I was
playing.
like, okay. Mm-hmm. And they want me to react so bad.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I ended up leaving. And when we leave, I tell the property manager, I say, "She has collected more stuff since I was here 2 weeks ago." I said, "She's supposed to be out in 3 days. She has more stuff." He was like, "Well, maybe now that I'm involved, you know, she does have 3 days." But in my mind, nah, this isn't adding up. She already dodged court and she dodged an eviction process. And everything is last minute. That's the thing. So if she's late, she won't reach out to you and say, "Hey, I'm going to be late. Hey, I'm going to be short." You got to reach out to her. And then it's the sob story.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no proactiveness involved.
Mm-hmm.
So even when she was about to get evicted, she waited till the last minute to
Right.
find this nonprofit. So I'm learning these things as I go along. Like, oh, you playing the system. So you pulling last minute stunts, and that's what you do. So she's teaching me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, June goes. I give her notice she got to be out by September, because unfortunately, now here's what I really wanted to talk about, because I don't want to harp on her so much and give her all that energy. And knowing her dumb, she'll probably raise her hand and say, "She's talking about me." I mean, seriously. You see, I haven't mentioned her, but let's see if she surfaces. But the point of the matter is that I learned so much about the laws.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're renting, I learned that it's very difficult to get people out, and it's more difficult than what it should be. I learned that even because she was in there during COVID, she was in there with the rental stimulus, and she still decided to be late. She used
so that made it worse. Did COVID make it worse? Like, I remember a lot of people were talking about they were landlords and going through a lot with people not paying during COVID. Did COVID make it even worse for you in regards to how she was already,
I think that's
not
when
paying?
she started to get sloppy with her payments.
Okay.
If I have to be honest, when that stimulus ran out or that rental assistance ran, I think she started to get a little sloppy with her because now she got to pay out her paycheck. She didn't have to do it for so long. She moved in 2020. So this is right like 3 months before COVID kind of hit.
So can you imagine what kind of employee she is?
She probably one that tries to bully her boss up to promotion. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because the mama, if it remind me of, I don't know if you saw me post about this lady, where she, long story short, the food critic gave her the restaurant like $4,000 and designated 1,000 to like the braider and 1,000 to the barber or something like that, and the owner kept all the money. And so when you looked at the family dynamic, the mother feeding off the son. You see what I'm saying? So that's who all their reality testing is based off of, that little group of scam artists. So that's why when I was like, that's why I asked the question, was the mama and the brother working? Because see, they gotta secure they money bag. She the ATM. You see what I'm saying? So they got, look, tell that B this and this and that. We about to work this. And then they might be bullying her. And in a sense, she comes to try to bully you. And somebody got to put the boundary up. Like, look, ma'am.
Yeah. So I can't say definitively if they were working or not. I do know that the mother had a home. I don't think they were. They weren't even supposed to be in the home living. It's in the lease agreement. Anything over 7 days is considered residency, and you need to have written permission. They need to now be on the lease and paying something.
Yeah, they do.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
When did you start the BB show?
2 years ago.
Oh, wow. So you were, what are you, 11? So you was 9.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just so inspired. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, all right, so tell everybody, how is it being a social media influencer? How is that experience for you?
It's actually been so amazing because I like to, inspire people, especially at a young age that I am. And I want to inspire like kids that's my age or younger, and also like some adults as well, so they can inspire their kids to, I wouldn't say be like me, but be like positivity, like have positivity and, be positive, not like don't be negative.
Entrepreneur Thursdays with Research Shows podcast. Okay, so I'm going to split this interview up and we're going to do part 2. It will air in real time this coming Thursday at 4 p.m. for our Entrepreneur Thursdays at Research Shows podcast. You can access it by going to tinyurl.com/Dawn's podcast. Other than that, you can actually catch this on YouTube as well if you just check out the playlist for Research Shows podcast right here on this channel. Don't forget you can catch more episodes of Research Shows podcast by going to the same link. I'll put it right here across this screen. We are on most streaming platforms. And with that being said, don't forget to give us a like, a share, subscribe, and you have a wonderful day on purpose.